Good morning, good morning, good morning, guys. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. I feel so much better today from when I did yesterday. From this low carb, low sugar type of thing I've started. I didn't feel very good yesterday at all, but today I feel much better. So yesterday must have been the whatever in my body of where's that sugar, where are all those carbs? I don't know, but I feel much better today. So I wanted to get right to the subject. Welcome, by the way, welcome all of you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. And I'd appreciate it if you hit like, subscribe, and make comments. It really helps me. I wanted to get to this subject because of a dream I had last night. Now let me tell you, I've been divorced from my ex-husband for 22 years in November. 22 years, guys. This dream that came was really strange. I was in a very abusive marriage with him. He used to really seriously abuse me, not just verbally, but physically, really badly. I mean, we're talking badly. And I've mentioned this in videos before, but I just wanted to bring this up because of how something like that can affect you for life. For me to have a dream now, 22 years later, it's just unreal. It's like, wow. I woke up and I thought, luckily I slept through the night. I don't know when I had the dream, but I woke up around 6 o'clock, so that was good. But yeah, it was, I was actually back in the situation I was in when I was married to him. Of the hitting, the kicking, the punching, the throwing me around, that type of thing. And I wanted to make this video for all of you out there that are in an abusive relationship, whether it be physical or verbal. You need to just get out. They do not change. You get locked in this trap, like this trap of I've got to make this work, I've got to make this relationship work, this marriage, or if you're just together, got to make it work, got to make it work. No, you don't. If your partner is abusive, you need to get out. Figure a way out, especially if you're a woman. I'm being honest here, guys. It happens more to women than it does to men, but it does happen to men, but it happens more to women. And let's get real here. Men are much stronger than women. They can grab a woman and just throw her like she's a nothing. And I know that. I experienced that. His strength was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. His strength against me there was no comparison. And that includes my first husband too. My first husband was a total drunk. All he did was drink all the time. And he became very abusive and hurt me deeply. Luckily, I only stayed married to him for 3 years. But, yeah, these men are much stronger. And my first husband was not some big, tall guy. No, he wasn't. He was maybe an inch taller than me, if that. So they just have this innate strength. Most men do. Not all, most. But I want you to make a plan, especially if you're a woman. Make a plan to get out of that abusive relationship. You always hear the stories of the man who either beat the hell out of a woman or killed her because she said she's leaving the relationship. You need to make a plan to get out, whether it be to go to a shelter, to a friend's home, to a family's home, whatever. If you're afraid to tell him, it's very dangerous to tell a man face to face, well, I'm leaving you. He could snap right there. I did. Luckily, in my case, when I told him to leave, he had already been on drugs. That was one of the other reasons I divorced him. He became a crack addict the last 6 years of our marriage and destroyed our lives in every way you can think of, to where we were living in a hotel room. You need to make a plan. You know what your partner is like, and you know deep down if they might react aggressively or dangerously. And especially when it comes to women with children, any age though, no matter what, whether you have children or not, you need to be very, very careful when the time comes to tell that man you're out of the relationship. And I know it can happen to men too. Women can flip out. So basically I'm saying to anybody who's in an abusive relationship, figure a way to get out of it safely. And I mean safely. Because I'm telling you, you can't change them. You absolutely cannot change them. My ex-husband of 22 years, I was married to him for 22 years, he showed his violent side the first time. This was after we were married. He showed his violent side while I was pregnant with our first child, my daughter. We were having just a simple disagreement in the bedroom, and he got mad. I was pregnant, and he shoved me as hard as he could, and luckily I landed on the bed instead of the floor or the wall. I literally landed on the bed, and it continued throughout our marriage, guys. Don't be stupid like me and stay in a marriage for 22 years or however long, any length of time, if you're with someone who's abusive. And it's not just physical. Verbal abuse can destroy you too. It can completely destroy you. It can make you feel like you are the most worthless thing on this planet with what words are said. So having that dream goes to show you how it affects you the rest of your life. I did wake up, I take it back, I did wake up before I woke up at 6, now that I think about it. I did wake up from the dream, but luckily I went back to sleep. But when I woke up, it was like, oh my God. I had to realize it wasn't really happening again. So I'm telling you, don't be foolish. Don't sit there and think, I've got to save this relationship. I got to save this marriage. Oh, he'll change, she'll change, whatever. No. If they're actually abusive and they're showing a pattern of that abusiveness, don't kid yourself. I kidded myself. I was like, oh, they apologize. He would apologize and buy me gifts and whatever. I'm so sorry. I love you. I love you. I really do love you. I'm so sorry. Blah, 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 blah. Well, I'm going to tell you something that happened after my 4th child was born. My 4th child was born, and he was still a baby and in his crib. But he was standing up, and he was able to stand up in his crib. We were living on a street called Towner. We actually lived on that street twice, but the first time is when my 4th child, my son Elliot, he was just a baby. And my ex-husband started being aggressive and abusive towards me. Now mind you, I married him in 81, my son was born in 85. So for 4 years I took the abuse without ever fighting back. I mean, I wouldn't fight back because the first time I tried, he was so powerful that he hurt me more. But after my 4th child was born and he was showing that aggression one day, I snapped. I was like, that's it, I'm done. I grabbed a broom and I was holding it, and I got, the wooden part of the broom stick. I got it, and I'm not lying to you, I slammed him on the side of his head with the wooden stick. Slammed the living daylights out of him. I got a break there where he was, his arms were down, and I picked up that broom and I slammed him as hard as I could and hit him right across here. Guess what? It stopped him. Yeah, it stopped him. And he was absolutely stunned and shocked that I fought back. Just stunned. He didn't even know what to do. But I hit him hard. And that's what it got me to where I'm fighting back. You don't want to live your life like that. You do not want to live your life like that. Do not be foolish. If you're sitting here watching this and you're thinking, oh, but you know, he told me last week how much he loves me and he brought me flowers and he brought me a beautiful gift and he really sounds sincere. I really believe him. You're kidding yourself because you're scared to end the relationship. You're scared. Either because you're afraid of what he'll do, or you're afraid to be alone. Or you're afraid to have to start over again and support yourself and maybe your children, whatever. Don't do it. Find a place to go to. Find a shelter. If you don't have family or friends, find a shelter you can go to. Do not do this to your children. I regret that terribly. I regret terribly that I stayed with that man and put my children through what they went through. I can't even begin to tell you how much I regret that. It was one of the worst mistakes of my life. It can drive you crazy. It can make you feel like you're losing your mind. It can make you feel like you're absolutely worthless. It is not worth it to stay with an abuser. Not in any way, shape, or form. All I can tell you is, if you're in an abusive relationship right now, you know what you're going through. You know what sets it off. You know how it can just happen like that when you least expect it. And you need to know that it's not going to change. It's not going to change. That aggression will come out in one way or another at some time or another. I really didn't believe he could ever be an abusive man. Not like that. I saw signs of a temper before we got married, but I didn't think it could turn into abuse. I was wrong. So look for those signs too before you get into a serious relationship or get married. Look for signs of that aggression. Look for signs of a temper that gets out of control. Look for those little signs, because 9 times out of 10, they're there. And we tend to ignore them thinking, oh, but this side of him is so nice and sweet and loving. I'll just overlook that side. It was a bad moment. No. Be careful with that. Be very careful. Yes, everybody can have an off day where they're just messed up, you know. Everybody has off days. But there's a difference between that and somebody who's actually showing what could be an abusive personality. And you're smart enough to know it. You're smart enough to catch it. So don't think, oh, well, I didn't realize. I did realize, but I stupidly thought, oh, it's just his little temper because of the things he did before we got married. So don't kid yourself. I mean, for me to be dreaming about this many years later, that goes to show you it's kind of a PTSD that's still going on. And when I woke up and woke up at 6 o'clock, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I had that dream. Oh my God. I snapped myself out of it. I was like, no, I will not let this bring me down for the day. Absolutely not. I got up, I took my doggies out, I made my green tea, I showered, I got dressed. There's a couple of things I want to get done today, including my laundry. Fun. But I snapped myself out of it. I thought, no. You're not going to have that power over me this many years later. And I did. I just let it go, put it out of my brain. But please, they can kill you, and they can threaten you. He used to threaten me. That's where I'm telling you, be careful when you tell them you're going to divorce them or leave somebody. When I told him I was considering divorce, he acted pretty cool about it, right? He acted pretty cool about it, like, oh yeah, right, you're going to divorce me, that type of thing. Well, then later in that day, he came to me and he said, if you divorce me, I will have you taken out for $100. Yeah. That's what he told me. I'll have you taken out for $100. Needless to say, that scared the hell out of me. And I stayed with him a lot longer. I was terrified. I was absolutely terrified. But after he said it 3 or 4 times, I'll have you taken out for $100. Don't forget that. And one night when I had him arrested for what he was doing to me, I got a call from a person that works at the jail, and she was not supposed to make that call. But she called me at 2 in the morning and said, I just need you to know that your husband has been bailed out by somebody. So you need to know that. And please don't tell anybody I've called you and told you this. And then she hung up instantly. And I was like, oh my God. So I was running around making sure the windows and doors were locked. That is no way to live. I was terrified. I finally snapped after 6 years of dealing with his drug use, which put my entire family in danger, terrible danger, broke us financially, broke us emotionally. It was a horrible time in those 6 years with his drug use. And I finally snapped one night and told him to get the hell out. I never wanted to see him again. And he looked at me and said, if I walk out that door, you'll never see me again. And I said, that's the plan. That is the plan. So I stood there and I said, get out or I'll call the police. And he did. He left. Never talked to him again. I divorced him. He didn't even show up for the divorce hearing. I just got my divorce. It was over. And yes, he did circle the house a few times, which was scary. He would circle the house. We'd catch him circling the house over and over, and that was very scary. But I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I got out of it, because my life would have been destroyed beyond what it was if I had stayed with him. So don't talk yourself into staying with somebody who's abusive. You're kidding yourself. And if you have kids, do not put them through that. Do not. Figure out a way to get out. Get out, go, and start a new life. If it means going to a shelter, getting help to get a job, what have you, don't stay with a person like that. You hear the stories all the time on the news of a man who flipped out, he killed his wife, he killed his kids, you name it. So if you're in an abusive relationship, especially if you haven't had children, but you want children, do not have them with somebody who's abusive. Don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. Get out, find somebody that's good, and then have your family. I'm telling you this because it can ruin you for life. It can ruin you, it can hurt you. You can be physically disabled by something that a man does to you. I guess a woman could too, could hurt a man, but let's be honest, men are much stronger. And they can snap you like that. They can snap your arm, they can do whatever just like that because they're so much stronger. I mean, I was held up by my neck, pulled up against the wall like I weighed nothing. Literally, he had me like that, pulled up. I've talked about this before. But I wanted to bring this up for those of you that are in an abusive relationship. Do not kid yourself. Do not think it's fixable. That person is messed up and you've got to get out of it. It's not worth what it'll do to your life or to your future for you or your kids if you have kids. Get out. Make a safe plan to get out and move on. Just move on and put it behind you. You have to. Because you will be sorry if you stay with him. I am. I'm sorry I stayed with him as long as I did. It was a nightmare, especially when he started the drugs. Our life was living hell when he started the drugs. So he eventually, after 5 years of divorce, he eventually committed suicide. So I'm telling you guys, don't mess with it. Get out of it. Find a way, a safe way, and start your life over for yourself or for your children. But don't put them through it. Believe me, don't do it. Anyway, just wanted to talk about this real